Welcome back. This is the podcast, and I'm your host. Today, though, I've got a special twist. Today, I have a co-host. Now, back by popular demand, I'd like to welcome my good friend, Dion. Dion, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me back. It is a pleasure, as always.
What's new with you? Anything?
You know, I am just knee deep in trying to get through my home build, end of the semester, work. You know, when they say after Thanksgiving, everything can wait till the new year, that is absolutely right. Like, you know, this sounds like 2025 kind of emails to me, but
it's been a little bit of a hiatus, and I think there were a lot of things going on in the world. We certainly had the holidays. Mm-hmm. There was the election.
Right.
I don't want to get into that, depending on what you know, who you follow, what you believe. But now that the dust is settled, we're approaching the Christmas holidays and the New Year. Mm-hmm. I'm in full spirit with my Christmas sweater. Are you ready for the holidays?
I am. You know, I call Christmas the big show. It's my favorite holiday. I love Christmas. I love everything about Christmas. The only thing I don't like about Christmas this year is we have one less week between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we're getting cheated 1 week.
I did not know
Christmas
that.
Holiday. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. As we think about Christmas, did you guys have any Christmas holiday traditions growing up? Some people do like pajamas or go to the movies after. Did you guys do anything for Christmas?
I think like our most notable and my favorite tradition as a kid was our tree decorating party.
Nice.
And it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't a party. It was just what we did as a family. We would have the day where we decorated the tree, and my mom always kept like every ornament that she still has that like I made when I was a baby. When I was a kid, she has like moccasins that I wore when I was a baby that she still hangs on the tree. So I feel like that was like always my favorite thing. It was just like what kicked off the Christmas season, and we would listen to records, Christmas music records. So yeah, I've been a Christmas fan for a long time.
I think as I get older and I think about like the Christmas holidays, like I feel like my mindset has shifted. Mm-hmm. I feel like when I was a kid, the things that I cared about were like, oh, I want like the new tennis shoe for Christmas, or like I want a new like video game for Christmas. And like as I think back, like, you know, I'm in my mid 40s now, but like, you know, 30 something years ago, I'm like, where is all that stuff? Where are those shoes that I thought were like so important to have in my life? They're nowhere. Yeah. But I feel like the things that I remember the most are like the memories that I have with family and friends. And so for me, I think I feel more passionate about spending Christmas and the holidays with individuals who I care about versus things that I get. I mean, do you feel that way too?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I'm thinking back to my childhood. I don't remember a single gift I ever got for Christmas. I do have specific memories about Christmas, though. Like around our Christmas tree, we always did a colorful lights tree. I always like that is a memory that I have in my head. The food that we ate, you know, the time that we spent, the music we listened to, it was never about the gifts. Even though as a kid, there's stuff that I wanted, and I was like, I do remember wanting things, but I don't remember, you know, now as an adult, I don't remember what those things were.
You know, for me, I would say the reason why I wanted you specifically on the podcast for this holiday edition 2024 is because as I think about special people in my life outside of my immediate family, probably the number one friend that comes to mind is you. Pootie and Brandon, no disrespect, I love you guys, but I'm talking about local. And so you're like that person, I think, in my and in our friends' lives. And so I said to myself, who better than to shoot this holiday special with than you? So I appreciate you being on the podcast today.
Well, thank you.
I was actually thinking back to like when like we kind of met, like, and how that process happened. And I kind of made some notes here. I was thinking it was about 2020. And I think our good friends, Brian and Chris, shout out Brian and Chris, were getting married. They get married in North Carolina?
They got married in North Carolina. Yes,
okay.
That was a very dramatic weekend. It was actually a perfect plot for a Black sitcom romantic comedy kind of vibe, because like all of it had the perfect climax and like perfect happy ending in the end.
But for me, that event, I had just moved to the area, and I don't think I knew you at the time. I just met Brian and Chris. Brian was working where I work also, but I got the invitation to the wedding. And even though I just met Brian, that wedding for me at that time was just as much about me as it was them.
Okay.
And so I had like my suit all set. I mean, I was like dressed to the nines, and I was like, Brian's going to get married, but it's going to be my day.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got to the wedding, we got seated, and I was so focused on the wedding party that I didn't realize that I was sitting closer to the exit than I was the wedding party table.
Okay.
And it wasn't until later that I looked at like wedding photos, and I looked at one photo in particular, and I see you hanging out with Brian and Chris front and center at the wedding party, and in the very back of the photo is me sitting by the exit. And I think I was actually mean mugging. If I gotta find that photo, I think I was like mean mugging you guys. And that's when I realized how important not only you were in my life, but in everybody else's lives, and how unimportant I was in Brian and Chris's lives. Thank you, Brian and Chris, for seating me by the exit.
To be fair, I do believe that you all had a trip to Vancouver that year without me.
We did
and
have
that is how I actually became aware of who you and Deanna were, because they were like, oh, we're going to Vancouver with our friends. I was like, what friends? Why wasn't I invited?
But clearly that trip to Vancouver wasn't that special because I was seated in the exit row at the wedding.
Okay, well.
But anyway, I'm not bitter about it. I'm really not bitter about it. I'm
Okay.
over it at this point.
Yeah.
So, but at any event, it's crazy because for me, the holidays is as much as I enjoy like being festive and wearing sweaters and cooking and getting together with friends. I feel like the holidays are also, for me at times, I'll admit, a depressing time. As you're kind of the inspiration why I decided to go back to school and get my MBA. And but when I went back to school, I wasn't, even though I started school, I really wasn't super focused on school. At the time, I was traveling a lot and doing a lot of other things. And one of the things I would do is I would travel, and then I would log on to the social media sites and then try to curate like these posts and these experiences. Oh, I went to Vancouver with Brian and Chris, and then I'm making this elaborate post and all these photos. And it was on one trip in particular. I think what trip were we in Germany? I think we were in Germany, and Deanna says, do you have any schoolwork to do? And I was like, no, I don't have any schoolwork. I was like, it's just as business school. I just show up and take the test and you pass. And I logged on later like that week because I kept getting these emails saying, log on and post and post. I'm like, why are they badgering me? Let me log on and just post. And it was like participation points, 0. And I'm like, damn it, I'm about to fail out. So at that point, I logged off of social media. I canceled. I said, I got to focus on school. But before I did, I would log online, and every time I log on, I'd be sitting at like the dinner table, and somebody's got a photo of a dinner that looks better than my dinner. Or I'd be like on a vacation or staycation, and somebody's posting like their trip to like Bali or something like that. Or I'm like, man, I'm really happy I just got these new shoes. And then somebody else would post like some Louboutin shoes or whatever they got. And like, you would just feel bad. It's like, I just felt like social media was designed to make me feel bad about my life. And that was especially true for me around the holidays because both of my parents were only kids. I have an older brother and that's it. So there was no big holiday like get together. And so I'm logging online and Facebook and Instagram, and I'm seeing all these amazing holiday things. I'm just like, man, I just got like my family and my dog, And so it was kind of a depressing time for me. Did you have any feelings or experiences like that?
I mean, like, I feel like comparison is the thief of joy, right? So, like,
I like that.
If you have the ability to really, like, experience what you do have in a spirit of thankfulness and gratitude, then, that's great. But if you're looking at what you have in comparison to what someone else has, especially through the lens of social media, it does make it a lot more difficult to be grateful for it. I have recently been very mindful about, muting voices and images and things that I feel like make me less grateful. And a lot of times the things that can make me the most ungrateful is comparing my life to other people, So sometimes even just comparing my life to different points in my own life too, So trying to stay grounded in the moment and in the day, I think has been really important for me to do, because no matter how great your life is, no matter how great things are, if you're constantly comparing it to what other people are doing, or even what you think you should be doing or what you used to do, it's really hard to enjoy it and appreciate it.
I just feel like it's so hard to do. I feel like every time you turn on like television or social media, it's like hard to ignore. Case in point, I was looking at at one of the shows on NBC. I think it's called The Today Show. And they were like, oh, great holiday deals for travel. And I'm like, I'm actually working on the holiday, right? Like my life, I don't have like the holiday off. And so it's like, even like the holidays, if you have family and friends, depending on what your work life is, and me in healthcare, it's like, I can't even get to them, because, you're taking care of patients or you're doing other things in your life. But even more than that, I think having those types of experiences actually made me self-conscious. So on the flip side, I would travel and then I wouldn't want to post anything. Because I'm like, man, I know how I felt like when I log on and see somebody else who's doing something amazing and I'm not doing it. I don't want to do that to somebody else.
Right.
But I feel like it trickles down to everything, right? I'd like you go to Chick-fil-A and then somebody who's just eating, I don't know, Burger King, McDonald's is like, damn, like I'm not eating Chick-fil-A. So even the things that you're not like meaning to make anybody feel better or worse, like anything, like I'm drinking, tea right now. And somebody who only has water is like, man, I wish I had tea. There were points in my life, I just feel like I didn't want to live my life because I felt so bad about how it would make somebody else feel. Not only around the holidays, but just in general, but especially around the holidays. So then you kind of shy away and you stop living your life because you're always concerned about other people. And I'm cognizant of that. And I hope this holiday season, what I want to share with other people is that, as you said, you don't have to be focused about what other people have. Just enjoy what you have, no matter how big or how small that is.
Yeah. I mean, because there's always someone who has more than us. There's always someone who has less than us. And, really being able to, like I said, be grateful in where you are and mindful of, what your journey is and appreciative of that, I think is really important.
Yeah, I think so. One of the things I was thinking about earlier today, I said to myself, I want to actually think of and really sort of dial in on things and people and pets or whatever that I'm really grateful for this holiday season. And I came up with three things. We're currently in year 2024. And there have been a lot of TV reports about medical illnesses. I think there was an actor on a popular show, Dawson's Creek, that was just diagnosed with a medical illness, and Chadwick Boseman. And so one of the things that I'm really grateful for, especially as I get older now, I'll be 45, is my health. Yeah. I don't take it for granted anymore. But this holiday season, I'm like, man, the turkey, dinner looks amazing. The Christmas dinner looks amazing. I'm grateful for my health. Let me just scale back on indulging. So I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for family. I just said moments ago, I don't have a big family. I have a very, very small family, but I'm still grateful because I know that there are people who wish they had their family. And certainly I think about my father who passed, over 20 years ago. And, I certainly miss him, but I'm grateful that I still have my mom and the rest of my family. And I would say that the last thing, and that includes Deanna, but the last thing that I'm grateful for is can you have Monkey come over here? Is that okay? Is my dog. And, Monkey, for the viewers at home who don't know, is my chocolate Labrador retriever. She's 11 years old. We'll probably do a whole nother special on Monkey. She's sleeping on the couch over there. I'm going to try to get her in frame before we close out. But she turned 11. And this has been a rough year. She's had a lot of health issues, as you know, from the ICU, et cetera. And I'm sure the Chick-fil-A doesn't help her. But, I love my dog, and I'm just grateful to hopefully have her another year. So those are some of the things that I'm grateful about. What about you?
Family is at the top of my list. Friends get, grouped into the family kind of category for me. I have the best family, friends, support group. Just being able to have people around me who constantly support me and cheer me on, and then even just are easy to be around, you know what I mean? People you just enjoy spending your time with and have a good time with. You can travel with, or you cannot travel with. You can come to each other's homes and pet each other's dogs, that sort of stuff is meaningful and, not taking for granted that everyone doesn't have that. So definitely family and friends. I'm thankful for my job. I love my job.
True.
Jobs. I love my jobs. And I'm thankful to have jobs that I actually love. I'm thankful for owning a business that I feel makes a difference and matters.
I got to echo that. You've been crushing in the real estate game. So shout out to you on an incredible year in real estate.
Thank you.
But I didn't want to cut you off.
But yes, the jobs I'm thankful for, a job is just a job. People always joke and be like, what is your dream job? Oh, honey, I don't dream of work, but like, I don't dream of work, but everyone, I have to work, and I'm thankful to have a job that I actually love and enjoy doing. I have a great team. I love the people that I work with. So I'm thankful for that. And I think, health and health of mental health is important too.
I believe that. Shout out to mental health. Definitely.
And I'm thankful for my faith too, because my faith gets me through so much every day in my relationship with God, and like being able to put that, like, I feel like becoming more of a disciplined person in my faith has been really key for me this year. So yeah, those are the things I'm thankful for.
Cool. Well, as I think about wrapping up, as I sort of start this podcast experience, people tell me all the time, like, oh, short content. Nobody wants to look at like a 50-minute video. So I definitely want to wrap this up. But I think we could probably both agree that it's probably more important to cherish the experiences and the people in your lives this holiday season more than the material things that you could get. Would you agree with that?
I mean, don't get me wrong, because I might get a little something fancy this Christmas.
Now, why you got to go ruin it? Okay.
I want a little something fancy too.
Okay, I see you.
But no,
shout out to Van Cleef.
Okay. No, I mean, it doesn't have to be that fancy, but I think yes, it is always about the intangibles. It's always about the people. It's always about the experiences. But I do like a little sparkle now.
I know that's right. Let me keep these dusty kicks out of the shot. Then I don't want to mess up the shot.
Mine are a little dusty tonight too. There's no Louboutins down here.
Well, fair enough. Well, look, I want to thank the audience for tuning in to this episode of the podcast. Stay tuned. I got a couple of special guests coming up. We'll talk about things like women's health, balancing motherhood, familyhood as a professional, and the list goes on. So I hope you guys stay tuned. Until then, I want to thank my guest, Dion, for joining me on this edition. And I wish you all an amazing and festive holiday season. Until then, peace.